What's going on, Bills fans? This is Bills Latest. We are brought to you by FanArc, and let's get into it a little bit about Joe Brady. What should we expect in this upcoming season in 2026? Does he have all the weapons he needs? This is just pre-draft, just everything we've done through free agency so far. So, without taking the draft into consideration, what do we think as far as weapons at his disposal right now? Do we think we're going to see a drastically different offense? Because I don't really know how we can. And again, DJ Moore had 600 yards last year. 600. He isn't the guy that I think that they thought they got. I'm not sure where they go in the draft or what they do with their picks, but I just think this offense is going to be the same. Maybe slightly better. There's rumors of bringing Cooks back now. I mean, the rumor mill is wild when it comes to wide receivers. And again, we're still we got, who again is on the radar, a UConn wide receiver, Skylar Bell. We talked about him. UConn. I don't know. Actually, I do know. I don't want that. I know for a fact I do not want that. But I think he needs something else. Because with the addition of Moore, how can we say the offensive scheme, what is going to change offensively? And my big thing is, how dedicated is he going to be? Because he's going to have head coaching duties now. Yeah, he brought in some help, but it's a whole different ballgame when now you're the head coach and you're the offensive coordinator. We'll see. Because there's going to be times where the offense is on that field and he can't get to him. He has to go talk to a defensive coach about something he just saw. So it's going to get a little bit. There's going to be a breaking in period, I think, the first few games. I don't think he's going to come out as sharp as he's going to be towards the end of the year. Luckily, it's still basically his playbook. So everybody knows kind of what's going on. And that's where I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Because now it's almost like a batter after he's seen a pitcher a few times. You get a hang of it. Will defenses catch on to what Buffalo does? And a lot of it last year was just the run. They would just pound the rock. And I'm just worried Cook is not going to be able to handle that kind of load. We're going to need help from the backups, the second stringers. Because to make that playoff push, Cook will have to be healthy. Same with Kincaid. Enough with Kincaid constantly having a nagging injury. It's time. That's why they brought Knox back, I think. Because Knox, not the best tight end in the world, but he's there pretty much all the time. And he does catch the ball. He does block. He does the things you need a tight end to do. Kincaid has to stay healthy this year. That is his biggest worry. Shakir has to just do the same thing he's been doing. Same exact thing. Moore has to step into that one role. Will he? I don't know. By default, yes. But I still think there might be some moves to be made. And we'll find out sooner than later. We're getting very close to draft day, folks. All the rumors will be coming to an end. They will be coming to an end. But as far as Brandon Beane, what do we think? Has he done enough pre-draft? I like what he's done on the defensive side of the ball better on the offensive side of the ball. I think Gardner Johnson will be a sneaky pickup. If Chubb is healthy, Chubb is good. The biggest question mark with Chubb is he going to be healthy? But that's kind of the bonehead play, but also you're trying to get a really good guy cheap because our defense has been banged up year after year. That's why our defense is typically bad. We're playing second and third stringers. 60% of the defense is second and third stringers half of the time. So they got to stay healthy. But I don't think he's done enough as far as pre-draft to address the wide receiver room. And I'm going to keep hammering it. Because I don't think people realize, because Josh Allen is so good, but his life would be so much easier with a true number one. And shit, if you have a true number one and say somebody like a Brandon Ayuk who is reportedly getting sniffed at by the Bills, and you have DJ Moore and Khalil Shakir, you're cooking. You have options now. You're taking a lot of that pressure from Josh to have to constantly run the football. That's why he is the NFL leading rusher for quarterbacks. Because he has to use his legs all the time because our wide receivers just don't get open. Because when a quarterback is scrambling, a good wide receiver is going to get open. Give him 4 seconds, they're open. 3-4 seconds, they're open. But I just don't know what Bean is going to do coming into this draft. How much of a say does Brady have in who they're drafting? Does Josh have any sort of say? Does Leonard have any sort of say? Who has the pull? How much is Pagula saying no? I feel like Pagula is pretty hands off. I feel like most of it is going to be Bean and Brady. Sprinkle in Leonard. I don't think Allen is really involved. I really don't. Maybe if they like a wide receiver, sure. Other than that, why would you involve him anyways? Guy's got enough stuff to deal with. Imagine they made Josh. You know what, Josh? You're a superstar. Your shoulders hurt all the time from carrying us. Could you carry us through the draft too? Could you draft some guys? Josh would do it. Question is, how good would Josh do it? Probably not good. No players ever do it good. And yes, I'm joking. But Brandon Bean, so far, meh. So far, I'll give him a C+. No, I'll take that back. I'm going to stay C+. I was thinking B- because I do like Gardner Johnson. I think that is sneaky. That's a ball hawk who likes to hit. You love that in your secondary. Absolutely love that. But as of now, I'm going to go C-. We're going to find out more come draft day, but we're going to find out. And speaking of draft day or potential trades, if you will, Keon Coleman. Do we think he gets traded pre or post draft at this point? Because I think the Bills are saying everything publicly just to increase the trade value. The 49ers would be interested in somebody like a Keon Coleman to build around Brock Purdy and Ricky Pearsall. Yeah, they have Mike Evans and Christian Kirk. But those guys are getting older. Keon's still younger. They're trying to get rid of Ayuk. You might be able to just straight up trade him. Even for even. Not even get rid of a pick at this point. But it looks like San Fran wants to hold off until the draft. Or they would like to get rid of him before the draft because they would get the most money. Or the team would have to pay the most money, but that's why nobody's biting. Post-draft, it's going to get a little cheaper. But I've never been sold on Keon Coleman. Again, when you get benched because you do not pay attention to detail and you come late to meetings, and then that next game when you're benched and you're dancing on the sideline pregame, like, what are you doing? Absolutely not. You should have been sitting on the bench just looking pissed off. Looking pissed off. But nope, we danced. We celebrated. We celebrated our day off. We earned it by not showing up to a meeting. I would dump him. Dump him immediately. Especially, I don't even care about Brandon Ayuk's injury history or the drama in San Francisco. That is a risk I am willing to take to win a Super Bowl within the next year or two. Because that's what needs to happen. If that doesn't happen, I'm not sure where Buffalo goes. I'm not sure where they would go. But my question to you, Bills Mafia, would you get rid of Keon? Would you move on from him? You already know where I stand. I'm curious to where a lot of fans stand. Because I've heard and seen different things. If I had to put a percentage on it, it seems like it's 60-40. Majority would get rid of, but there's a good chunk that would like to keep him. I don't know why you want to keep him. I truly don't. The only reason you would keep somebody like that is because of the price tag. But the production has not been there. So we'll see what they do with Keon. Again, we're getting closer and closer to this draft, and I can't wait for the draft to be over so we can see what kind of roster build we have and what we got going into 2026. But that has been it for today's Bills latest, folks. Again, we are brought to you by FanArc. We hope you hit that like and subscribe button down below. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers this week, and we appreciate you guys watching and listening. Thank you guys so much.